Welcome back to the M-Cube News Desk. This is Will Hemme, and this is a special report. We're about to delve into one of the most viral videos of this year involving Miss Kendra Boone. If you have not seen it, take a look. That, my friends, was a life-changing crash caused by one Miss Kendra Boone, who received her pink slip during that crash, as well as two other innocent people. Another one critically injured, all because she stole a police cruiser, a Ford Explorer, belonging to the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Well, anyway, let's take a look at what our sheriff had to say.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're here
These
obviously
are
because
highlights from the press conference that he gave that basically outlined the incident and was cause for a little controversy with the family of Miss Boone. So let's take a look, see what our sheriff says.
a tragic incident that occurred yesterday afternoon after my deputy responded to a suspicious incident. And then during that incident, after he arrived, a moron decided to steal his patrol vehicle, which ultimately ended up resulting in us chasing him. And then in a tragic accident, where two individuals were killed because of that moron. Today, we spend 95% of our time dealing with 5% of a community. And of that 5%, it is the 1%ers, like you're about to see, that are the true problem out here. Yes.
Sheriff, what is the department's policy on the cars running or not running when your deputy leaves the vehicle? Because it seems like the car was running and she had access to drive away in it.
I have a feeling y'all gonna push my buttons. That means shit. Okay? That doesn't play a factor into anything. This moron stole a police vehicle and killed two human beings. What my policies are, what the procedures are, mean nothing. We did nothing wrong. My deputy did nothing wrong. Listen, you did it. You've pushed me. Our society today wants to blame everything else but where the blame should be. Not a policy, not a deputy. The blame goes to this individual. The blame goes to this individual. You want to know why? Let me open it up to you. You want to? This is her criminal history. This is it. Criminal history. Zach? Yes. In her life, 13 felony charges, 9 misdemeanors. Out of those, two convictions on misdemeanors. Now here's what infuriates us in law enforcement. We arrested her. All those charges are in other counties, except for one, Marion. We arrested her. We charged her. We convicted her. We, the state attorney's office, got a conviction and got 2 years sentence. 2 years. In 2022. Keep that year in mind right now. 2022. 24 months they got. Then, because she violated a probation out of Orange County, they picked it up. Violated. Gave her 30 months concurrent to our charges when it should have been consecutive. Not only on top of that did she get a very, absolutely, in my opinion, nothing She should have received 53 months. What year did I tell you? 22? 2022. If she would have served what we in Marion County did, and if Orange, and keep in mind, I want you to pay attention to the year, which was 2023, April, when a particular prosecutor that was there, it should have been 53 months. I know math is hard, even for me. I only got so many fingers and toes. If this person would have been in jail, I would not have 2 dead innocent people.
Sheriff, do you
Andy?
think any policy would be looked at in the future?
Andy, don't go there. No,
Andy messed up.
I'm not. No, no. We didn't do anything wrong. What do you, oh my God, what do you people not get? You want to put the blame somewhere else. The blame is on this Kendra Boone. Not a policy? Not a policy? Not what my deputy did? On her. You want to fix our problem in society, hold people accountable. Juvenile.
What were the other counties that she was arrested in besides here in Orange?
Volusia, Orange.
Flager.
I can't remember. There's a cities in there, there's municipalities, but I'm not for sure where those municipalities, which counties those municipalities are in. And law enforcement did their job in those. Let me make that clear. Law enforcement obviously made their charges. Law enforcement did their job. Somewhere else, there's a breakdown. And that's the problem.
Anything you'd say to the families of the 2 people who lost their lives together in the hospital?
Listen, my heart goes to them. I lost a friend first thing in the morning at 7 a.m. A good man. And then I have to deal with this moron who kills 2. And to them, my heart pleads to them. My heart truly does. Now I pray and hope that they are standing before our good Lord Jesus Christ right now.
Amen, sir. Well, let's get into the accident. We got Miss Kendra Boone. This video is readily available at Crime Cam now. That's where I got this from. Kendra Boone was in a bad way, and she was desperate. She was in this parking lot trying to carjack someone. She was trying to get a hold of a running car. Don't know where she was going. Don't know where she was headed. But she attempted to take keys off of one lady and attempted to kick somebody else out of a car. One of them called the sheriff. The sheriff showed up. Let's just take a look. Take a look.
To a call at the Forest Shopping Center in Silver Springs, Florida, regarding a woman attempting to steal another woman's car keys. When the deputy arrived, the woman approached his patrol car, acting as if she were the one who had called for help. As the deputy walked around the back of his vehicle to speak with her, she suddenly jumped through the open passenger side window and led law enforcement on a high-speed 4.5-mile chase.
No. Stop! 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 It gets so fast, she just got in my car, took off. Eastbound on Highway 40, passing the 7.
Then the chase was on. They went up and down, up and down. You can watch the whole video on Crime Cam now. It shows a pretty, it shows the whole accident and everything. They went up and down the highway. She basically U-turned, came back, busted another U-turn, went back the other way. And then she eventually got to the crash part, right?
On February 1st,
Okay, she gets to the crash. Basically, this video here is her driving the stolen police cruiser. She is talking to herself. She is apparently high and mentally ill. She's talking to herself on the cam. You can hear everything. And she's driving erratically, super high speed. But here as she's coming up on this truck, this is the last move here. She passes this truck on the shoulder, gets in the dirt, which takes away traction on one side of the car. She comes out of the dirt. Now, at this point, we got an oncoming truck right here that is the one she's going to make contact with. It's hard to tell whether this was intentional or whether this was just bad reactions on her part. She's coming out of the dirt on the right and gets traction with the right side of the car now. And I'm sure she's still on gas and she's still pushing it. She moves ahead. And then it's like she's coming out of that and she kind of she's overcorrected. She's coming out across the double yellow for no reason whatsoever, except to maybe scare that guy. But after we look at her history and her story, I don't really see that she's homicidal. I think she overcorrected coming out of the dirt, and she's going to try to go around this pickup truck on the left shoulder of the road. Now, the pickup truck sees her coming, and he goes for the left shoulder, which is his right shoulder. So they both go the same way. She tries to correct back the other direction at the last minute, and then they have an offset head-on situation. Absolutely horrible, absolutely preventable. A couple of people are no longer with us because of that, including Miss Boone. It's hard to watch, but like I said, they have the video for you at Crime Cam now, and you can see everything that happened there. We can go back to the aftermath of this wreck. As the other unit that was chasing pulls up on the scene, you can see the damage and total destruction. There's still guns drawn because they have to be, because this is a felony chase situation. So they got to be how they have to be. That's why people gonna say, "Oh, the police pulling out a gun on dead people." No, that's not the case. They have to do what they have to do. They have to secure the situation.
I don't know where she's at. There's somebody in that driver's side.
She's right there. She's right here. She's right here. Get them. Get them. Get them.
Fire started.
Marion, I got the police crews. They're on fire. Hey, Millers, get my fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher, get it over here, get it over here. Hey. It's really hot right here, really hot. Really hot.
Where's yours? Let me grab yours.
Mine's unlocked, it's unlocked, it's unlocked.
Fire's out.
It should be on the right.
And we gonna take a toll of.
Do we have any vision or any contact talking?
Behind this one person. We had to have be
at least 3 occupants. Sheriff's office, everyone okay?
And in her own existence.
6360. I mean, I got 3 occupants unresponsive in the other vehicle.
That's all we need to see right there. Well, who is Kendra Boone? Where is she from? Why did she end up here? We have Kendra Dalen Boone, born October 15th, 1990. 33 years old at the time of the crash. She would be 34 now. 5'5", 134 pounds. Probably soaking wet. She got her first charge at the age of 18. Well, the sheriff was showing his criminal record. 42 pages long. Got it all right here. And it's too long to even talk about. She looks like she was living with her mother and her father, or that was her last known address. She hadn't moved out, hadn't done anything with her life. And she's 34 at this point. Her mother's 54, father's 64. Like I said, she's been committing crimes since 2011. She's been convicted of stuff since 2011. Got some 2008 stuff here. We got dealing in stolen property. We got attempted robbery with a deadly weapon. We got thefts. Driving with a suspended driver's license. Theft of a grand theft motor vehicle. Retail petite theft. Schedule for substance. Child restraint. Now, mind you, she has kids. She has kids, small children. She's driving around without a child restraint for the child. One of 3 she has. Careless driving. Hit and run with property damage. Let's see, what else do we have here? Fleeing with no regard to safety, public safety. This is the one that got her arrested in Marion County. And she had a burglary assault of an occupied structure. Burglary, assault, and burglary being in an occupied structure. Sounds like a home invasion, okay? It's either a home invasion or she was trying to steal from the office or something. Not sure. Don't have the totals on that. Don't have all the info on that. More grand theft. We got, oh man, it just keeps going. It's like 43 pages, this thing. I had to buy new ink for my printer to get this all out. Burglary of an occupied structure again. Orange County. Let's see, that's where she violated probation. Whew, jeez. Possession of a suspended driver's license. Driving was suspended. Scheduled for substance again. Okay, so this poor baby here, she was a little good girl gone bad, I would assume. She got some pictures, some other mugshots, quite a few mugshots actually. She's been arrested many times. Never served any real jail time except for the one in Marion County. She served 2 years, and then her violated probation out of Orange at the same time, and they ran it consecutive. She got 2 years and 6 months for that. And then she pops out of jail, and then shortly thereafter, she's no longer with us and took a couple of innocent people with her. Grand theft. Oh, my God. This is crazy. Let's see. She's been committing felonies. It's crazy. I mean, her father, Robert Henry Boone, I mean, the place she was raised, I don't know how much that had to do with it, but he's got a DUI, a reckless, and a license revoked charge. Mama's Kathy Boone, she's speeding once. That was it. You got a girl here from a home and instantly gone bad. Now, I mean, she's doing drugs, and it seems like she's also mentally unstable, just a little bit. And it's possibly untreated, but Marion County Sheriff did not pull any punches when talking about this young lady, and that got some people upset. Now we got a person here that claims to know her a little bit. We're gonna take a look at what he has to say right now. Whoops, let's get some sound. Let's get some sound.
She was a younger. I think she was in her 30s or so. She was a good girl. She like I said, she had her problems, but she was trying to get her act together. She was driving, huh? Being her kids' lives and stuff. So she was doing all right. I thought she was doing all right anyway. Maybe there's some stuff I didn't know, but I wasn't really real close with her. I just knew her, and I knew, her mom had been you know, my daughter had babysit for her mom, which was her kids. But now that they're a little older, they don't really need a babysitter though. So, but she was doing pretty good. I thought she was getting her act together and gonna do good. So it was really surprising when I heard that this happened. She had just gotten out of jail actually, but she was a younger woman. Her kids are in their teenagers, I think. And I had seen her the day before that.
You seen her the day before that, and where you saw her?
Up here.
Was she a regular up here?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
She lived right out here in the neighborhood. Just whatever snacks, you know, cigarettes, snacks, drinks.
And what time of the day did you saw her that Wednesday?
It was the day before she got to the right. So it was probably, I don't know, 1 or 2.
1 or 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And did she come in the store here?
I believe so.
And what she purchased?
I don't remember what she got. It was a while back. Probably just some snacks and a drink or something.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one person that knew her. Let's check this out. Okay, like I said, the sheriff, who did not know this woman very well at all, I mean, other than coming out and see what she had done and looking at her police record, much like we are right now, we don't have a whole lot of information on this young girl, but the sheriff called her out of her name a couple times, and the family did not really care for that. Of course, you know, this is their little angel. And we got a letter to the Ocala, Florida Gazette newspaper, and she kind of gives us some insight into the young lady. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is posted February 7th, 24. The night before, Kendra Boone, 33, allegedly stole a sheriff's cruiser and led deputies on a high-speed chase that ended in a crash that left 3 people unalived, including herself. Boone's parents were so concerned about her mental health that they reached out to the Marion County Sheriff's Office for help for their daughter, left before deputies arrived. The Marion County Sheriff's Office has declined to provide details to the Gazette about any contacts the agency had with Boone in the days leading up to the fatal crash on February 1st. Kendra Boone's older sister, Kristen Hensinger, spoke with the Gazette in part to give the community more context about the tragedy, particularly the role of the untreated mental health in her sister's actions. Hensinger said her family is devastated and she's speaking out about the mental health issues she believes led to the tragedy because she believes her sister would want her to. My sister, the one we all loved unconditionally, would not have ever wanted to hurt anyone. Kind of what I said. The feeling I'm getting is she's not a homicidal, violent person. She's just a druggie in need of something. She said, speaking of the two others who died in the crash, between sobs, Hensinger said, "We feel so bad for the family who've lost the people in the crash. We wish we could have prevented it." Hensinger expressed sympathy for the difficult positions that law enforcement faces. However, Hensinger said Boone's children were distraught to watch on TV as Sheriff Billy Woods, during a press conference the day after the tragedy, referred to their mother as a moron and an asshole whom he does not care about. He did say those things. He was highly, highly upset. And unfortunately, the kids who she had lost custody of, I mean, you know, her grandparents, the grandparents were the ones who had the children. But I guess she still would see them, and she probably bopped back and forth between, you know, runs. She probably bopped back and forth to the house and saw them quite a bit, that the kids still had some feelings for her. That's, you know, interesting. Hensinger called Woods' profanity unacceptable and chastised him for dismissing questions about policy and procedure. Policies and procedures do matter, she said. "I do not believe she'd intentionally hurt anyone. Something else was wrong," said Hensinger. According to the sheriff's office, around 2 p.m., February 1, Boone allegedly tried to take a woman's car keys at the Forest Plaza on East State Road 40. A deputy responded and told Boone to go to the rear of his cruiser. He told Boone to do that. We saw the video. She did not. She jumped in through the passenger window. Took off. Okay. But instead, she got in the passenger side, climbed into the driver's seat, and sped off. She made a series of erratic turns and hit speeds well over 100 miles an hour as she eluded capture. Boone tried to pass a semi-trailer on the right shoulder and lost control of the cruiser, colliding with the pickup truck. Two of the occupants in the truck, 73-year-old man and a 72-year-old woman, both from Waterloo, South Carolina. They were on a road trip. Died. A male passenger was critically injured. The identities of those involved have not been released. My sister, I did not meet. She was, this is before I was born. She was in a car with her uncle, and someone crossed the center divider, killed them both. And that's something that, you know, losing a couple of family members at one time is incredible. And it's something I did not have to go through, but it's part of my family history. And my mother still does not, it's still difficult. And I mean, I feel so bad for these people, but as a married man myself, I mean, at least they went together, husband and wife. I'm sure they lived a long life together, and neither one of them has to grieve the other. And that's a little small ray of sunshine you can see in this whole thing. But anyway, back to the story. Hensinger said that she believes Boone stopped taking her medication in January. So her mental illness is not all that untreated, right? She became paranoid with illogical concerns. She hopes to obtain the medical examiner's toxicology report to shed some light on what led to her sister's action. Hensinger says she's speaking out to correct misinformation being said about her sister, including her past run-ins with law enforcement. At his press conference, Woods rolled out a lengthy list of Boone's record, which he said included 13 felonies and 9 misdemeanors in multiple counties. Woods did not provide the outcomes of those cases. Most of them, nothing. She sat in jail for a day or two, and she was out. Now, she became very familiar with Volusia County Corrections Department. She was in and out of there, it seems like every other day, looking at the dates on her record. Some news outlets have reported that Boone was out of jail only a few weeks when she stole the deputy's cruiser, but Hensinger said that her sister was released from jail in mid-October and was employed working for a call center. By Christmas, Boone was able to buy presents for her family. Her birthday and her son's birthday are both in October, Hensinger said, so the family had a joint celebration. Hensinger said when Boone was well, she was very supportive of others. She loved family. She said, we grew up in the church. She had a close relationship with God. The night before the tragedy, now I've got a little insight here. Kendra Boone, sought refuge at Cedar Creek Baptist Church near her parents' house after she left their house. I don't think she was allowed to stay the night at home. Now, being a drug addict, knowing what a drug addict is like in your family, yeah, that might be the case. She had to go get shelter, right? She didn't know what to do or where to go, recalled Juanita Kuykendall, a parishioner of the church and resident of Marion County for more than 50 years. It was chilly that evening, so Kuykendall walked Boone into the church. She wouldn't let her stay with her either. Walked her into the church and discussed options where Boone could stay. Kuykendall said she talked to a sheriff's deputy who attended the church also. The deputy explained that if Boone had a criminal history, she would not be allowed into the local shelters. She had a criminal history, like a mom. My husband told her we'd take her to the emergency room, but first we stop by the house and get her something to eat. Okay, we'll take you to the house and feed you, but you got to go. You crazy and you on drugs. You cannot stay with us. My husband told her we take her to the emergency room, but first we stop by the house and get her something to eat. Kuykendall said, after feeding her, we felt comfortable enough to let her stay the night at our house. So they did, finally. She was tired and anxious, but not high. This time, we were not afraid of her. She reminded us of a scared kid. Boone showered after eating and preferred to sleep on the couch rather than in the guest bedroom. Before going to sleep, we prayed with her to have peace and guidance, recalled Kuykendall. When Kuykendall awoke at 4 a.m., Boone was gone. taking with her the bag of clothes Kickendaw had given her. Hensinger said her family is plagued with trying to understand what made her sister go from a reasonable, calm to stealing and ultimately crashing the deputy's car. She said she has struggled to understand her sister's mental health and addiction issues, but since she did not experience them herself, it was sometimes hard to relate. She would tell me, "You don't understand," and I would acknowledge, "I know and I'm sorry," Hensinger said. Boone had 3 children, one age 11, does not live in Marion County. 2 others, 14 and 15, do live in Marion County. Boone's 15-year-old daughter described her mother as a warrior, a human being, and a loving person. "My mother was sweet, but could also stand up for herself when she needed to. That was the thing I admired most about her. She was sweet to anyone she met, but also knew how to stand up for herself when she needed to. She is sweet and salty. That's one of the many things I like to think I inherited from her," Boone's 15-year-old daughter wrote in the Gazette. Latara, a lifelong friend of Boone, said, "Who asked that we not disclose her name," said of Boone. "I knew her on a level." I'm sorry. Latara, a lifelong friend of Boone, said, this is the woman who asked that we not disclose her last name. She said of Boone, "I knew her on a level other than that of the sheriff or any other person who's trying to portray her as a monster because of an addiction she couldn't control. I don't want people to know her based off her mistakes and instead basing off of her as a loving, caring person she was. If anyone really knew the actions behind the addiction, they would know that they are not their true selves because they're controlled by it." Okay. Excuses, man. Okay, I had a little technical difficulty. Sarah Miller, a friend of the family for 38 years, described Boone as a free spirit who made friends wherever she went. Miller said Boone would often come back to attend church with her family. She loved her family and friends with her whole heart. Miller said Boone was a good person and deserved to be remembered in a different light than how she is being described by the sheriff and the media. We had many memorable times together, but my favorite moments with her were times we would just drive in the car singing all our favorite songs together. Our songs would always remind me of her. She is a good soul, and I will very much miss Boone's 15-year-old daughter said. Very much miss. She's a good person. I very much miss her. The couple who housed Boone the night before the incident said their hearts broke when they heard the news because we thought she'd be back. She left her purse and a handwritten note. Thank you note. I gave the note to her mother. The note says, "Thank ya for helping me. I appreciate it. I'll call you up in the AM. Love, Kendra." Well, I mean, of course, you always got 2 sides to every story. A person that's hooked on drugs, a person with mental problems can perform and act in very different ways. And they could break a lot of relationships, break a lot of hearts along the way. And apparently Kendra Boone did all that. She had people that loved her and people that couldn't stand her. And she wreaked a lot of havoc in Marion County. I mean, 18 or so years of being in and out of the justice system, you would think maybe one of those felonies could have got her a long sentence where she could have rehabbed herself, paid her price, and maybe come out a changed person. But it seems like Orange County, Pinellas County, Volusia County, Flagler County, they all were pretty lax, kept letting her back out, thinking they're doing her a favor. And if Orange County had run that sentence concurrently instead of consecutively instead of concurrently, she'd still be in jail probably right now. And there are at least 2 people that would still be alive. This wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have a story for you today. Nobody ever would have known had she had the chance to actually be sat down and possibly got her life together. Sad story. Another one in the books. Kendra Boone. Thank you for watching. Good night.